Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. Today I am here and my dog is also joining us. This is Ladybird. To do a tag, this is the what the F are you tag. And Lady has decided to leave. She must not like the F word. I don't mind the F word, but I will censor it here just because YouTube, you know. But so this is an original tag created by Sexuality, and I was tagged by Courtney Farrader. I will link both of those channels and their videos down below. And I thought this would be a really nice way to just talk a little bit more of myself. There's been a few new people following the channel, and yeah, it's always just to share a little bit more about me. So prompt number 1 is, what the F is your name? Does it have any meaning? My name is Cynthia. And I think there was some sort of like Greek or ancient goddess with that name, or something like that. It doesn't mean much. My parents chose to name me Cynthia. The official story is because there was an actress on a soap opera at the time whose name was Cynthia, and my mom really liked it, and then my dad agreed. The unofficial story was that my dad had an ex-girlfriend named Cynthia, and I guess he really liked the name. We don't talk about that though. Question number 2, what the F is your gender? Female. So I'm a straight cis woman. Nothing too exciting there. Question number 3 is, what the F are your pronouns? So she, her, hers would be my pronouns. And I love that these questions were in here. Question number 4, what the F is your ethnicity? So yeah, okay. So I was born in Mexico. Both of my parents are Mexican, so I am Latina. In terms of more precise beyond there, like a lot of Mexicans, we probably have some European and indigenous roots, maybe even African roots. I know there are stories in my family about indigenous great-grandparents and such, but I don't know precisely, and it's hard to find some of those records and to go through some of those records because my family is from rural Mexico. I was born in Mexico, and but I have lived in the U.S. since I was 5 years old. So that's the short version of my story. So question number 5 is, what the F is your sexuality and why? So I'm straight. Why? Yeah, I've asked myself that question many times. Dating men is not always the easiest thing in the world, but I'm in a long-term, stable, fantastic relationship. So fortunately, I have not had to worry about that for a while. 6, what the F do you do besides Booktube? So as many of you know, I do teach history at the college level. So I teach a lot of world history, a lot of European history. My degree is in, my dissertation was in French, modern French history. So I do a little bit of everything as a adjunct / lecturer. I do end up teaching some really great topics and then some slightly random ones, but yeah, and I usually share about that in here because, for example, for over the next month, I'll be reading and going through a bunch of books where I'll be picking readings for my classes, and so when it overlaps with that, with my reading, I'll share it on here. So yes, full-time job outside of Booktube and other interests and such. But yeah, Booktube and reading does take up a large chunk of my time on a daily basis. Question number 7 is, what the F other identities do you claim? See, and this can be interpreted very widely. So teaching, I think, is a big part of my identity, especially when I'm teaching. Like I connect with my students. I care very deeply about my students, and I think that makes me a better teacher. I am Latina, like I said, I'm Mexican, and so like Mexican food is a big part of my life. I know how to cook a few things, and then craving everything else is a big part of my life. I am a dog mom. I've got 2 pooches. So you saw Ladybird at the beginning, and then Lincoln, who's a Schnauzer Poodle mix, and he's asleep. And if those of you that have been watching my channel for a little while know that I don't wake Lincoln up, because he then becomes the grumpiest little boy ever. I'm a sister. I have 4. I'm the oldest of 4 children. So yeah, the oldest daughter in an immigrant family, oof, comes with a lot of issues, a lot of weight on my shoulders. But we've been figuring all that stuff with my family and with my siblings. It's not quite as weighty these days. It's gotten a little lighter, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, as we were through some trauma. Let's see, what other identities? Those are the main ones that jump out at me. But yeah, you'll see others as you watch more of my videos. Number 8, what the F do your identities influence what you choose to read? How the F do your identities influence what you choose to read? Yeah, so some of those, so you will see a lot. I do make a huge effort to really read and review books by Latinx authors, so that does influence that. I am very politically, like, I follow politics. I care a lot about that, and that does influence my reading. So I'm going out of my way to find, unfortunately, because the publishing industry makes it sometimes hard to find books by LGBTQIA authors with those themes, and I do. That's a significant portion of what I read. I really love finding and reading new books by marginalized authors, and that's important to me. So it does influence what I'm reading. As a college professor, I read a lot of nonfiction, and a lot of nonfiction that is like outside of the mainstream, because a lot of it is academic, but also a lot of it dealing with like I teach European history, right? So it's not the European history that I teach is not all white, straight, male-centered. It is not all history from above, and the history of politicians and kings and queens and all of that. And so, I read some really interesting things that way. So yeah, I think who I am does influence my reading, and then some of the things that I read when I was younger have influenced who I am. Like, for a long period of time, I was really into British classics and into British culture. When I went through my period of like reading all of Jane Austen and all of that. But I read widely, and I read all over the place. I read fantasy, I read romance, I read sci-fi, I read middle grade, young adult, literary fiction. Like, you name it, and I am willing to read it, which is why my bookshelves back there are a bit all over the place, and you can't even see all of it. I think I have some of my favorite books up on the top shelf, and I think that's going to be cut off in the shot. If you have any questions about me, let me know, and I'm happy to answer any questions about myself. I'm not going to tag anybody in this video, but if you are watching this and you want to do the video, please consider yourself tagged. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!